Hey guys, happy Monday. This is Overpass Live. My name is Eric and I make apps. So this is the weekly live stream where we just talk about whatever we talk about. And this week there's been like a lot of news in terms of the Apple release, which we were watching it. For those of you guys who were on the Discord server at the time, we were kind of Shurjin and Gainer, and we were all kind of watching it together and commenting on different stuff. Which for some reason I was more excited about it this year than I ever have been ever before, right? For me, the whole thing about the early, the Apple announcements, if it's not WWDC, the developer one, then it's the one where they announce the hardware, which is like, as a consumer, yeah, it's kind of cool, but as a developer, not so much. But anyway, we talk a little bit about that today. We just hang out, we talk about, whatever we want to talk about. And this week, first of all, I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me just check the levels here. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. So this week, I've just been like crazy busy, like today especially. Today I woke up at 3:30. Like I usually get up at 4:30 every day. That was my thing because I'm macho and all this kind of stuff. But I don't really do that so much anymore. Right now that I kind of, things have kind of slowed down a little bit. I'm kind of enjoying sleeping in until 5:30, which is still, if I don't get up at that time, I feel like I don't have enough time to get stuff done before the day starts. But I got up today at 3:30 and it was like insomnia. Like I haven't had this in a long time. I was worried about a client project and like I haven't done this in a long time. I was at the gym at 4:30 this morning. That was pretty, so anyway, so I seem like I'm a little bit loopy and crazy today. That might be the reason why. But anyway, I'm glad you guys showed up. Let's see who's here. We got Matthew here. Matthew's first. Yeah, boy, damn right. Mega Man is second. Chris Bala is third. You guys are really well organized. Chris Bala says, what do you guys think of the M1 iMac? That's interesting. I'm kind of interested in it. Like I just bought an iMac like in June of last year. So like at first when I saw it, I was like, me personally, I was like, oh man, I just got an iMac. But then when I look at it, let's have a quick look at this. Just like before we go back to say how to. I mean, I was kind of looking at this here. The new iMac, for those guys who haven't seen it, it's like, I mean, it was all over the place. It's in different colors. Which is like, I like the way like they announce like Apple. I try so hard not to be an Apple fanboy because sometimes when they go, okay, this year the Apple 12. All right, you ready for this announcement? It comes in purple, right? So it's like, that's your thing, right? Yeah. So, but like the iMac, I think it looks really cool, very thin, very sleek. And then I was thinking, man, maybe I should have waited to get the new one. But when I look at this thing, my whole thing is, what I'm wondering is whether or not you can upgrade the memory yourself. Because one of the nice things is that little door in the back, and you only got the USB-C ports and everything, yeah. So I'm gonna wait and see on that one. I do have the M1 chip in my MacBook Air, which I got just last month, which I've been meaning to use for development, and I just haven't been able to get into it. I'm so used to having the entire my console here in front of me, everything in front of me, like I want to feel like an airline pilot, right? So. So yeah, I mean, what do the rest of you guys think about it? But yeah, I'm kind of interested in that. But I probably won't get one. Not at least for a few years. Bizwatjeet's here. Hey, how's it going? Billy, yo, what's up? What's up, Billy? Billy, what's up, man? God, sometimes, you know what? I bet my kids cringe. As a dad, for those of you guys who haven't achieved fatherhood yet, or you're thinking about it. The best thing is just doing things that embarrass your kids. So what up, Billy? Let's see. Swatcher says, Eric, can you explain the store listing experiment in Google Play? Does it have an impact on the ranking of the app? No, it doesn't have an impact. It can have an impact. So I did it years ago with my biggest app, and I was like playing around with different experiments and different icons. What I found was that I was playing around with the description, really. The description would change my keywords for some of them, and I actually saw my app drop a little bit in ranking because 50% of the impressions had nothing to do with the ranking because I made this severe changes and everything like that. But what I found is it only really helps me if I have a lot of traffic going to it. So then you can say I want 50% of people to. Usually it's like I want 25% people see this, 25% of people see this, 25% see this, and 25% see the normal one, and then it will tell you which one's actually performing better. But in order to do that, you still have to be showing up in search. Mega Man 2016, Eric, what's the best password manager? Okay, you're asking me as somebody who doesn't try all the password managers. So I've used LastPass. I've used XPass, was it? I used the one that, like the old one. No, KeyPass, I think it was called. I use LastPass. And for me, I like LastPass. I use the paid one for that. I probably shouldn't tell you guys I'm using that because that's probably just the fact that I'm saying that is probably a vulnerability. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really an expert in that kind of stuff. But I mean, what do you guys use? What are you guys using for password manager, right? Who out there is using a Word document with a password on it? Let's see, Robert Petros. Let's start the week strong with Eric. Yeah, let's start this week strong. Damn right. Kevin Hawthorne. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Shurjan, greetings all. Greetings, Shurjan. Ravi says, what's the band on the right hand above the elbow? Oh, I was kind of hoping you guys wouldn't see that. It's a kinesio strip. I'm trying it out. Dude, like I said, I went to the gym early this morning and I really worked out hard. Like I have this tennis elbow issue, right? Where I just kind of so I'm trying to lift lighter weights, but today I just thought I wanted to just, work out my frustrations on the weights and everything. And I'm all about the vanity muscles. I mean, I'm a software developer. I'm never going to have to, people don't ask me to help them move. I don't have to do anything that requires strength, right? I just want to look good in a t-shirt. So I'm all about the vanity muscles, right? So anyway, I overdid it this morning and I thought I would put this on there. And I thought if I used a flesh colored one, you wouldn't tell, but I guess you can. I thought about taking it out before the live stream, and I thought, I'll just, and I'm not quite sure. I mean, somebody told me about it, and I thought I'd give it a try. And I try it every so often just to see if it makes a difference, and I put some ice on it and stuff. But JK Multi says, hey, Eric, how you doing? Hi, sir, how you doing? I'm doing good. Doing really good today. And Theo Taylor is in the house. Hey, Theo, how's it going? Okay, so Ravi says, I'm surprised that the iMac costs almost as much as a Mac. Actually, yes, I thought that too. I was kind of surprised. You know what? I think what's weird? It's do you remember when the iPhone started to cost like £1,000 or $1,000 or near $1,000? And people started saying, why would someone pay for that for a phone, right? And you see them when you pay $1,000 for a phone, then all of a sudden that $1,500 for a computer doesn't seem like that much, but it's still expensive. It's very pricey. But yeah, I kind of thought that too. Shu just says, remember that the new iMac only replaced the old 21-inch and 24 inches, so it's not for professionals. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you got the iMac Pro and everything. I don't have an iMac Pro. I've just got the normal iMac. But, and Chris says, no memory upgrade on the M1 iMac. Yeah, see, I don't like. It's bad enough that they don't get, well, I totally understand that, if you were gonna get a computer for okay, not to belittle Mac users because I'm a Mac user too, but if you're gonna get a computer for your mom or something like that, you'd want something that you wouldn't have to get her one. Okay, and then you could upgrade the memory, but make sure you get DDR4 because of this, and make sure you get this 72 pin because this, and make sure this all of a sudden it goes out. So it goes way over their head. So it's kind of easier just to say, hey, just take this. Here's a computer, turn it on, plug it in. The hardest bit is finding the Wi-Fi. And they do try to kind of make that stuff easier as they go. But yeah, so let's see. But yeah, I do not like when they take features away. I'm still don't like the fact that you can't upgrade the memory in your phones anymore or change the battery by yourself, for most phones these days. I bought a what was it? This one, the Nokia. I bought a new Android 10 Nokia, and I was surprised that you could change the battery in it. It came with a battery, and I was like, it'd been so long since I had a phone that had a replaceable battery that it really surprised me. Let's see. I'm using the free version of LastPass Password Manager. It's very good. I know. Still, it says Sill's Music Room. It's kind of weird because it's really good until it isn't. We all assume it's really good. They say, "Oh yeah, it's uncrackable." And when you're like, "Well," until somebody does it. But 1Password is the best with the most integrations. Oh, cool. Ravi says, "I left LastPass. Didn't want to pay. Now it's just Bitwarden." let's see. Frank Fox, cool avatar, says, "What is a good monetization conversion percent for what helped and what helped improve it the most?" So the monetization conversion would be. So are we talking about ads or are we talking about purchases? I say we talk about purchases because when we talk about conversion with ads, it's kind of outside of your control. You know, you either get good ads or you get bad ads. And so you have no influence over the click-through rate, or you should have no influence over the click-through rate. You have influence over the impressions, and you have influence over, just making sure that, you get the right impressions and signing up with the right networks and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the actual conversion, you don't really have any control over it. But for me, I found that I used to have my in-app purchase used to be in in a menu. So I was like kind of thinking, if somebody would, like, as a developer, I kind of think, oh, people are going to go check the settings. Like, yeah, surely they'll just be playing around with the app, and then they'll think, oh, settings, let me check this out. And dude, no mere mortal goes into settings just for fun, right? They go into settings because something went wrong or because they're techie. So like when I moved that in-app purchase from the hamburger menu, from the slide out drawer to the front screen, so that there was always this constant reminder saying, don't forget to upgrade, don't forget to upgrade. And you see a lot of apps do that too. It's like that pushing you, right? And so, but don't like prohibit them from using the app, because that's kind of like, you got them into the store. You have to make sure that they're comfortable and they like where they are, but also just that nudge, that reminder of, hey, you can have like all this other stuff. So I've always been a big believer in, if someone doesn't have access for a feature, you don't show them the feature. So like I used to work on web apps, and I would have like managers say, oh, let's have this button, but let's have a grayed out for non-admin users. And I'm like, why would you have a grayed out button for something that they'll never ever be able to click on it, right? They'll just be this thing, just say, hey, here's something you're not good enough to click this button. So it was like, it's better just to remove the button altogether, right? Which is true. But when it comes to like in-app purchases, it's like the opposite. You kind of want to show them that, because it's like they can have that feature, show those features, but with a lock on it and stuff like that. So, Shujin says, Eric, your new iMac is 27-inch, right? The new one is 24-inch, so expect the 27-inch to be released in October. Yeah, I got the 27-inch. Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm no longer feel like I missed out on something. It's that, yeah, I kind of like, I don't want, when I bought the iMac, I thought I want like a beefy, what I really wanted was not a Mac at all. What I would really love, my ideal computer would be a tower, just like something from PC Specialist, or a custom built computer with like as much RAM as it will handle, like 128 gigabytes or whatever, and as much disk space, and like a whole bunch of virtual machines on it, so that I could just run whatever I want whenever I want it, and it was just and I could just have as much RAM and memory as I want. But when it comes to like Hackintosh, stuff like that, I just don't trust Apple. I just, it's kind of like you're going around the system, and it might work for a while, but then every single time you get anything go wrong, you're going to be like thinking, I wonder if that's because I'm on a Hackintosh, right? I have the same thing where at one point I thought, I'm not going to use Microsoft Office anymore. I'm just going to use LibreOffice, or I use both OpenOffice and LibreOffice, and I thought I'm just going to use that. And then later on, I did the same thing years later with Google Docs. And every time somebody sends me a document that doesn't look right, I'm thinking, is that because I'm not on Word? So I have Microsoft Office now just for client documents. So there's always that doubt. So I would imagine if I had like a Hackintosh, anytime I'd run into any kind of technical difficulty, the first thing that would pop into my head would be like, I wonder if it's because I'm on a Hackintosh. So that's, but ideally I would have liked to go on that way. But I do like this computer. I love this computer, actually. Ravi says, what's your strategy to loan images from a network? Like, where do you host them, possibly for free? It depends. Like, I always use Amazon S3 buckets, because it would seem to be the cheapest. And it's not free, though. Now, if you look at Firebase storage, which I was like, we did a project where we had the images hosted in AWS S3 bucket, and we had all the data in a Firebase real-time database. right? And we didn't even use Firebase storage for the images because I thought it's going to be too expensive. But I have like I have an application now which hosts. We've got like, I think it's got like 50 gigabytes of data on it, and it's streaming a lot of data. And the price is like, it's not even that bad. So it's like the Firebase. If you look at it, depends on how many like impressions and stuff you're going to get. But of course, you could always do something like an FTP server or something like that. But I always like S3 buckets. But if we look at Firebase pricing. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. By the way, for those of you guys who gave a thumbs up. For those of you guys who are still deciding, I'll win you over. Let's see. Firebase pricing. Let's have a look. So, like on the free one, you've got, where is it? Hosting. Cloud storage. So you got 5 gigabytes of free cloud storage. So a gigabyte of downloads a day. Upload permissions. You have 20,000 upload operations. So like if you have look at the wrong camera. So if you have something like a like upload their user profile, stuff like that. I mean, you have quite a lot here just on the free tier of this. And if you go up, then for every additional gigabyte, then you have, and I think this is monthly. For every additional gigabyte, you're paying another 2 cents. So you're talking about really low percentage, and it depends on how much you're storing. If you're storing more than like 10 gigabytes on a free service, I would be worried about that service just going away or talking about fair use policy or anything like that. So that's something I've been actually pretty surprised about, because I was always really afraid of like the price of this really getting out of control. Let's see, purchases. Yeah, so yeah, I would say definitely make it so that they always see that. Ravi says, I heard when you upload live stream videos on the channel, they impact your channel badly. So many YouTubers make different channels for streams. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, so last week, I think it was last week, we reached 35,000 subscribers. And going from 34,000 to 35,000 took a long time. But I haven't been doing videos very much lately. So we've just been doing the live stream. And I started to think, well, like, yeah, is my goal of the channel, was to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I thought, yeah, I want to get to 100,000. I want the plaque. I want the plaque with the silver button. And then I thought, why do I want that? Again, the same reason I want vanity muscles. Just because I just want to look badass. I thought, actually, let's just do so I'm not that worried about live streams affecting the channel. I'd rather have one place where everybody can find everything. But I appreciate that. Because if I started another channel, yeah, maybe you're right. Because I know that I would imagine that it's a user retention on video sometimes. So like if somebody watches whatever 80% of the video or just the beginning of the video, or I see people drop off when I say I make apps, then that's going to adversely affect it. And if we're going to be talking on the live stream for like an hour and a half, then obviously not everybody's going to stay with that whole hour and a half. So that I'm sure that would affect it somehow. But Ravi Sharma, put them on a CDN. Oh yeah, that's a good idea too. Yeah, CVNs might be a lot cheaper actually. Ravi Sharma says, like CoffeeZilla also started a separate channel, The Drip. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I should take that more seriously. Appreciate that. Frank Fox says, have you ever implemented the Play Asset Delivery? Having bigger than 150 megabytes is such a pain with Google. Yeah, no, I haven't ever done it. No, I've thought about it. I think because a lot of the stuff I do is cross-platform. I'd rather have it if I have to download stuff, I'd rather have it someplace where it's not. Actually, no, I have done it once. Yeah, I have done it once. It was a thing in Corona SDK where you could actually set it so that you can bring your assets into another execute, like another. Was it like you have the main APK and then you the other stuff that would download it? I was not exceeding the 100 megabytes, but it was or the 150 megabytes or whatever. I think it was 100 at the time. I wasn't exceeding that, but I did try that out. And what I found was I got a bit confused because every time I do an update, I wasn't sure if I should update both of them or just one of them or how it would. So in the end, I just thought I'm just gonna stick with one APK. And in other situations where we have like a lot of content that like has to be downloaded, I'd rather use something else like a CDN, like Firebase storage and stuff like that. So Megba says, Eric, which standing desk do you use? It's a Veridesk. So it actually it's got these clips in it where you can like put it down and up. So like if I have a meeting, like if I have meetings on Zoom, a lot of times I'll stand just because it makes me feel like, you know, just get a bit more energy, right? But if I'm like coding, I'm like, dude, I just go real. I go low. I code low. I meet high, right? I talk high. I code low. Code low. Talk high. What? So so yeah, no, it's really cool. It's called a Veridesk. 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 But it was expensive. It was like, I think it was like $250 or something, or but I really like it. So it's Veridesk Pro 36. I've got the big one so that I could fit it. Like at one point I had 3 monitors on it. Yeah, 365 pounds, and that is like, but you know when we're paying £1,000 for a phone and whatever. But yeah, it was pricey and it's heavy. You should see the old guy who delivered this to my office back in my old office. You know, he carried it up the stairs and he was like, God, you know, it was like, dude, like, it was like, did you have to send the oldest man I've ever seen in my entire life to deliver this thing? And it's like heavy because this bit here on the bottom, it's you know, it's got to be like hold the weight of everything when everything's propped up. But yeah, so let's see. Ravi says, exactly. Doing live stream is okay, but putting it as a video is not good. Yeah, we could just, I thought about just removing all the live streams from the channel. Like maybe just, because like nobody's going to go look at a live stream from 2017 or 2018 or whenever we started doing them, right? Who's going to go back and look at all the stuff that's irrelevant and watch all this kind of stuff? But yeah. Let's see. Ravi says, Eric, I want to see the silver trophy on the wall by the end of 2021. Dude, that was on my, okay, one thing I did this week, I think I told you guys this before, but I have this like, I have a Google script that I wrote that will send me a journal. Like, it's just basically like, it takes it, okay, let's get technical about it. It's like, if you ever use Google Scripts, it's easy to run everything on a schedule. So I have a Google script, which will take a Google Doc, which has like your goals for the day, your goals for life, your goals, whatever, what do you do today, your food diary, whatever it is, it's changed over time. But basically every day it will take that, it'll put like a quote of the day into it. I got really clever with this thing. And it sends it to me at 3 a.m. every morning. And when I get up in the morning, I will go through and I'll fill that thing in. Not every morning. Some mornings I'm just like, oh, I just don't feel like doing it. But other times I'm like, okay, let's, you know, we'll do that. And, you know, and then at the end of the next day when it runs, it checks the, just to get really technical about it, it checks the date updated. If the date updated of that document is the same as the creation date, that means I didn't fill it in. It'll just go and delete it because otherwise I had all this junk when times I want to do it. So I started doing this in like 2015, and I went go back and look at these back in 2015, and there were all these goals there, right? Like my goals my goals for life, my goals for the day. Some of my goals for life were like, well, own a Mustang. That was one of my goals, right? It was like one of the top ones on the vision board, and I did get one. Another one was I want to get to 10,000 YouTube subscribers, right? And that was like that for a long time, and then it was like straight to 100,000, right? So that's been like the goal for a long time, and I don't know if I'll get to that by the end of this year. It's trickling at the moment, but yeah, I need to do more. But I appreciate that, Ravi. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever done that. I mean, how many of you guys out there actually do journaling like that? I don't do it consistently. I do it like consistently enough that when I go back and look at stuff, the mornings when I go through and actually write some paragraphs, like saying, okay, but you know, like sometimes I'll be like, God, I really hate this, you know, like I'll be like complaining about something. Sometimes I'll talk about something I really like, something I've done recently, something I'm excited about, whatever. You know, so like I would write this stuff in there, and it's kind of interesting to go back and read those. And other times it's just like, what did I eat for the day? And those ones are kind of boring. But I mean, so Alvaro Cuiza. Hey, Alvaro. Hi, Eric. What would you recommend to someone who starts developing application? What would I recommend? A computer. I think you need a computer. In fact, since you're on here, you must have a computer, unless you're doing it on a phone. Now, I would recommend. I recommend starting. There's so much material out there to get started with. When I started in software development, I got a book on Java, and it was way over my head. I got it from the library, and it was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna learn how to do this. And now you got everywhere. You've got tutorials of people showing you how to start. Like, okay, here's how we're gonna like, you know, okay, here's why you should use Flutter. Here's why you should use React Native. Here's why you should use this. Here's how to install it. Here's how to, here's how to do your hello world. Here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. But I think reading a book or a course, something that takes you from A to Z, or at least, creating something from scratch is a lot more beneficial than just like, okay, I need to create an app. Then I'm going to connect to a database. Then I'm going to do this, because then you're all over the place, and it gets a bit more muddled. And sometimes just to have that one focus of somebody talking you through, okay, this is what I'm going to do next, and here's why I'm going to do it, and this is what I'm going to do next, and then also error handling, because like error handling is something you got to try, like you have to do, right? So like having something that covers that kind of stuff, and performance improvements and testing and everything like that. Good. Let's see. MD says, "Hey Eric, I finally started using interstitial ads. What took you so long? Do you enable video interstitials? I'm trying not to piss off users. What do you think?" I do. It depends on how bad they are. Like, you get paid more for video interstitials. Like, and if as long as you have a way that they can remove those ads, you might piss them off. But if you use them sparingly, I would say use them sparingly, and everybody knows that ads happen. All right, but what I would do? I would try to turn it on and then watch the reviews. See what happens. If people do start to complain, like really, really complain, then pull back a little bit. But some people are gonna complain, right? But I complain about ads on television. I complain about ads everywhere, and but that's just the reason why they're free. So I think that people understand that, but they still might moan about it. And don't make them wrong. Like, I've seen people like respond to reviews and say like, well, that's why it's free. Well, that's what they get really defensive about it. It's like, no, say, hey, I totally understand. It's but if you wanted to, you can remove it with this this feature. Ravi says, I'm living in guilt for 2 weeks now because my progress for creating content for the app is really slow. Somehow no motivation. Is it because of the weather? I mean, I'm finding that the weather's been really nice. I've just been like, okay, and I've got the MacBook Air, and I thought I loaded all the development tools onto it. I thought I'm gonna go out somewhere and code, and I just haven't got around to doing it yet. I'm just like, okay, I'll work on this when I get back. But I think the weather is that does it to me too. Alvaro, build a game. It's really fun to do, and you learn a lot while you develop it. Man, make sure you start small though. Interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Ravi says, what's your opinion about content-based apps? I think they're a good idea, but then you have the whole content thing, right? I like the idea that my applications did not have content. Well, they would have some content, but it was limited content. It wasn't like daily content, like like news stories or stuff that gets updated all the time. So that, like, if it's something that's fixed amount of content, like the language learning games would be something I went out and got a whole bunch of content for, and I hired voice actors I hired translators, I hired voice actors, I hired all these people to bring everything together, but it was like one fixed bit of stuff, right? And I could add to it if I wanted to, but for the most part I didn't, right? As opposed to something like if you had like a daily message or a daily article or something like that, then you'd have to keep feeding that. And I would imagine that would be really like, that'd be really cool at first, but then if you're not getting the uptake in users, then how long are you gonna keep updating it before you're just gonna like, dude, it's just not worth the time. All right. However, having a content-based app means that people will open it more often. That's one thing I did not have with my applications. Like my applications were like, people would download them, and then maybe 3 or 4 days later they might uninstall them, or they would just leave them on their phone because I wasn't sending push notifications or anything like that. So my retention may have looked better, but when I looked at the stats, they weren't going into it every day because they didn't have to. So if you had something which was content based, it would sending the push notifications would make sense because say, hey, we have a new article, and also it gives them a reason to actually check the phone on a daily basis, and that means more ad impressions. That means more, getting more, more that kind of stuff in there. But for me, I've never been able to make that work. Let's see. BizYG says, Wildfire Games, I've published a space shooter game. It's called Dark Space Legends on Play Store. Yeah, it's a good one. You should see it. Yeah. So, but yeah, let's see. Let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, somebody was talking about on the old Discord channel. Let's talk about the iOS 14.5's new app tracking blocker. This is one of the things that it concerns me a bit. I know you guys we've been talking about this, and I've been seeing this in apps so far, saying ask app not to track, allow. This is something it's a bit concerning when it comes to ad revenue, right? So basically, because I don't like the way this looks, ask app not to track. Allow BBC News to track your activity across other companies' apps and websites. Your data will be used by our ad partners to improve and personalize your ad experience. Now, if you guys have seen this on certain apps, you would know that it doesn't look very good. Like if it was me, I would say don't track. But it's just something it's a bit like, it's strange because as a consumer and as a user and as a human being, I think this is great. I think it's great that they're doing this. As somebody who makes money from advertising, I'm like, oh, this is really gonna affect some of us. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but I have not implemented this in my apps yet either, and I know I kind of run out of time on that. So hopefully I won't have too much trouble with that. But what do you guys think about that? Because and then also talk about the cool stuff on the announcements this week: the new iMac, the iPad Pro, the iPhone 12 in purple, AirTag. Oh yeah, AirTags. AirTags I thought were kind of cool, but again, it's like it exists as something else, but they kind of adopted the same thing they did with MP3 player. They've adopted it, improved it, and made it consumable for everybody. The kind of thing you can give your mom. So, yeah, it was a pretty good announcement. I mean, I think for me it was the first time in a long time I'm excited about some of these Google announcements. But yeah. So all right, hey, have we answered all the questions? Is this going to be like the shortest live stream we've done in a long time? Cool. All right. Well, hey, everybody, we do 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Excellent. So for those of you guys, thanks very much for those of you guys who liked the channel. For those of you guys who have subscribed, also thanks. And don't forget, we got our Discord server. So if you want to just pop in and ask a question, everybody's there to help out. And that's it. So everybody, hey, stay healthy, stay safe. Thanks for joining the live stream. Thanks for everything. And I will talk to you guys again on the live stream next week, but hopefully we'll get a video out in between. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments. Colored trees